Team, what up? GGB here. Welcome back to the channel. Now I'm going to be playing like a typical dwarf here. Very defensive. I haven't got a whole lot of artillery, as you'd see here. I've just got Ungrim Iron Fist, and I've got a couple of these quarrelers up the front. So I've got 3 of them. They're going to be going up against the enemy missile units or skirmishes. They will be able to hopefully trade pretty well. And then up the back is my real ranged killing potential, which are these Thunderers. So I've only got 2 of them. I can only afford 2 of them because I spent a fair bit of money on my main line. Now my opponent's opening up with his mortars here, so he's going to get a couple of kills. I'm going to have to rush if I'm going to get there, quick enough. So I got 6 of these Longbeards, not with great weapons, just the normal ones. Now these guys are insane at charge defense against large foes. Now, their charge defense says against large foes, but it's against everybody. So, if anything charges you with a Longbeard that is braced, they will take a lot of damage. So, I'm going to hopefully use that to my advantage. Up the break, I've got Iron Breakers. These guys are going to be kind of like my specialist unit for late game. Use them sparingly, hopefully. And over on this flank, I do have 2 of these Hammerers, which are going to be specialist units to take out different units that appear to be a big problem to me. And of course, Ungrim Iron Fist. Now my opponent here has a light wizard. He's got a couple of these spearmen out in this flank. He's got a swordsman. He's also got a couple of these Empire Knights, 2 of them. He's got great cannon, mortar. Now I was kind of shifting this way and trying to put some pressure on those mortars and great cannons because I don't want to take too much fire from them. I guess bringing no siege artillery as the dwarves was a bad idea because I don't have cav. Like, I don't have any way of dealing with these mortars or great cannons because I just do not have the cav. I have like some of the best infantry in the game, but I can't deal with those guys without the cav. So he's got handgunners, 2 of them, a couple more swordsmen in the center, and then of course those Empire Knights in the center as well. So what I was hoping to do is form up with my men. You can see I'm desperately trying to get into formation before they actually hit me. And he smashes into me with his Empire Knights. They do bowl over a lot of my men. I don't know if there's much I can do against them, but I was braced. And I was kind of hoping to get a lot more kills in that respect. So my opponent does it really well to follow that up with a swordsman charge as well. So he's able to get quite a few kills. And you can see just how much damage, man. Those Empire Knights are destroying me. Like, that was intense. It says good charge bonus versus large, but man, that didn't feel like a good charge defense against large, but that did not feel like a good charge defense. So I'm taking a lot of damage down to half. I've managed to destroy a couple of those Empire Knights, which is great. Now my only way of dealing with those Empire Knights is by these Thunderers. So I'm just gonna have to hopefully hold them down and shoot them in the face with me Thunderers, and that'll be that, hopefully. Anyway, my Quarrelers are now going to be firing upon his handgunners. Like I said before, I was going to hopefully counter those handgunners with my Quarrelers. And I kind of don't like what's happening here because I have to kind of sit around and take the fire from these mortars. But over here, these Outriders are going to be taking shots. But my return fire from my Quarrelers is actually going to do a lot of damage to those units. And if he stays there for too long, he's going to take a little bit too much damage and lose a couple of those units. Already done quite a lot of damage to his light wizard with my Quarrelers. And this kind of thing is great because I am managing to whittle down his defenses and his skirmishes, because I do have the skirmishing supremacy, even though it looks like I'm getting destroyed right now. But yeah, you can see my Thunderers are taking some excellent shots over there. His light wizard actually gets a nice spell off on my Longbeards, and he's going to take out a lot of them very soon. But yeah, you can see the continued fire of those mortars actually doing pretty well. 50 kills so far, amazing stuff. So here we go, I'm trying to reform my lines, get my Longbeards organized so I can take the charge. Over here I'm keeping an eye on these Empire Knights because I know how much damage they can do. And I want to make sure he doesn't get into my Thunderers because I need these guys to be able to take shots at these guys at the right moment. So he's going to be pushing with his swordsman up this flank. So we got a nice downhill charge from my opponent. I can't do anything about this at this point. He's just going to hit me and he's going to do a lot of damage. Oh man, there's really not much I can do. So these Thunderers are now going to get taken out as well. Or not taken out, but they're going to take a charge as well. He's going to be pushing over here. This is exactly what I want though. So my Longbeards are braced. They have that charged defense. So every time he hits me with the swordsman, these guys are going to absolutely crumble. You can see how many losses they took straight off the bat. We'll see how it goes with these spearmen. Now, these spearmen, even less so, like they're going to do horribly against my Longbeards in the center. So taking a lot of losses also. In this forest over here, the charge is going to get even more nullified because of the forest. Now, he charges into my Quarrelers, which is not a bad thing. The Quarrelers are actually okay in melee combat. But over here, I'm managing to get my Thunderers out of this fight, and I'm going to try and get some shots into these Empire Knights. So after a couple of charges, he's been able to break one of my Longbeards, which kind of sucks. And I'm trying to get a little bit of an area effect buff with Ungrim Iron Fist over here. So my Thunderers are trying to get into position. They're being a little bit derpy. They don't know what they're doing. And eventually we'll get into position. We'll be able to take some shots on my opponent here. Now, over here, I've got my my Iron Breakers, which is my specialist unit. They're going to be throwing their grenades over here at these Outriders. So you can see how big these blasting charges are, and they're going to be able to destroy these Outriders outright. I don't know if it was really the right decision to use those shots on the Outriders, which is why I'm going to turn around and try and pick a different target somewhere else, because these Quarrelers could easily deal with those Outriders just with their normal shots. Now you can see in the center, I'm actually able to break his infantry really easily. All their spearmen, all their swordsmen took a huge amount of losses trying to charge head on to my Longbeards, but where he is being able to get a charge from his Empire Knights, he's actually getting a lot of kills. So over here, he's like getting a nice charge into the back of my Thunderers. I kind of catch him off guard a little bit with a couple of his different units, but he manages to get a couple of my Thunderers there. So that Empire Knight is probably not going to fare too well. I'm bringing a Hammerer over here. These guys are pretty good armor piercing, I believe. Yeah, there we go. Armor piercing damage is going to do pretty well against those Empire Knights. And all the while, man, these mortars are just making me pay. They're making me suffer something fierce. So his general, I believe it's just a Lord, is going to get into combat with Ungrim Iron Fist. Hopefully I can do a fair bit of damage to that unit. I'm using all my buffs and all my things, because I'm surrounded by a Longbeard that's just about to go down and a Hammerer. Over here, I'm using my blasting charges to once and for all try and get rid of this Empire Knight. Again, my Iron Breaker is my specialist unit, and I'm hopefully going to cook these Empire Knights within their armor. Another blasting charge coming in here. Damn, bitch. Yeah, you guys run home. They are well, they're broken now, but they probably will shatter. Again, they could throw those things really far. I don't know what the range is. See what the range is? Yeah, it's not that bad. So we managed to send them off with a couple of losses. My Iron Breakers are doing pretty well so far to get rid of those units. And over here, I'm getting into these swordsmen with my Hammerers. They're actually going to do pretty well in this combat. Let's see if we can catch some of it. Again, the one-on-one combat is not the same as it was in Total War Rome 2, so the units aren't going to kind of respond to each other's hits and shots and that kind of thing. So getting some nice shots in the rear here with my Thunderers. Going to take out these spearmen fairly quickly. Again, the Longbeard's proving to be quite a good decision here. They're not super expensive by Dwarven standards, but they are able to take on any infantry head-on for a fairly cheap price. Man, some of these shots coming in here are ridiculous. Just destroying a lot of my different units. I want to make sure I can save these Thunderers because I still have to deal with his handgunners. What's the... I'm going to compare these two. So, missile damage 16 and 17. Handgunners actually have better missile damage. Range is about the same. The ammunition's a little bit better on my units. But I think the armor... Yeah, the armor's way better on my units. Melee attack is way better. Well, not way better. So yeah, I think it's all going to come down to... So these Thunderers are going to pay for a more hardy unit that's going to last in combat if they ever get charged. Whereas these handgunners are a little bit more squishy. If you get something into them, then you know, you can take them out. But it doesn't really matter because I don't have any cav. I don't have any way of catching these guys, which kind of sucks playing as the dwarves. But I think I'm just going to have to sit down and weather the storm of the opposing siege artillery. So I'm just sitting around taking shots at different units that I need to get off the battlefield. I probably need to deal with these mortars at some point. I don't have magic, so I can't use a magic spell on this mortar even if I wanted to. So yeah, it's just destroying me so far. This is intense. My Iron Breakers, which I really don't want to break. These guys don't want to lose. These guys are quite expensive. They're taking a lot of heat as well. And we're managing to take out these handgunners, which is great. But I think I need to deal with this light wizard at some point. I can't remember if I actually started taking shots here. Over here I got my long beards kind of facing off against his spearmen. I don't think these guys are going to be able to do too much, even if they came back into combat. One of my units has used all its ammunition, and here is when I use the rest of my blasting charge just to destroy one of these swordsmen. I really should be saving it for the rest of these Empire Knights, but I didn't think I realized they were still there. So my opponent's being intelligent. He realizes this is an expensive unit, so he's going to target it with his cav. Look how close the range is. They're literally like lobbing it a couple of yards. It's so funny. Getting an excellent charge into the flank here by my opponent. He's going to absolutely shred. Look how much damage he just did. That's insane. So he's going to destroy that Longbeard, but also another charge coming into the back here, into my hammers. So my opponent's doing an excellent job with his cav so far. Just making me pay. And there's no way I can deal with it, really. I mean, I'm losing a fair bit of ammo with my skirmishes. And now I'm going to use the rest of my blasting charges on what is left of these. Oh my god. Yes. Killing off the rest of these Empire Knights. These guys are shattered, so they will not be coming back, I believe. If they're broken, there is a chance they'll come back, but if they're shattered, they may actually... There's no chance of them coming back. So, Iron Break is already being pretty useful at dealing with the enemy cav. But I guess at this point, yes, I am weathering the storm. He is taking a lot of very good shots in here with his great cannon and his other units, but I feel like I can weather it. I feel like I can take the heat. The only thing is, he is starting to target some of my more expensive units, which sucks. My Thunderers, with what little ammo they have left, I'm going to start opening fire on these Mortar crew. See if I can take them out. You're not really missing any or much action at this point. At this point, yeah, it was just taking out different units around the battlefield. And this is where I started to target his light wizard. Don't want this guy on the field, definitely. It is an order. So we're gonna hopefully deal with them, yeah. And we managed to get rid of that unit. And it's at this point that the rest of his units start to fail. And I was like, oh, all right, that's all right. That's a Pyrrhic victory, even though I had quite a few men left. And Ungrim Iron Fist was in a good place as well. Man, the artillery of my opponent there doing an absolute number on me, and also the cavalry as well. So I guess the infantry of the dwarves are always gonna, well, I say always, but for the most part they're gonna kind of dwarf these Empire troops. But for the most part, I didn't have any way of dealing with those Empire Knights and also the Mortars. I think next time I come up against this kind of matchup, I'm going to use more Iron Breakers, maybe 1 or 2, maybe even miners with blasting charges, and use those miners with blasting charges just to hold up the Empire Knights and just, you know, rain some friggin', you know, fire down upon those suckers. Yeah, the Quarrel is doing pretty good against the enemy skirmishers. Doing a number. The Thunder is always good. Always a good unit to bring as the Dwarfs. I find I get a lot of kills on some pretty important units there. And the Longbeards, just managing to single-handedly destroy all of the enemy infantry fairly easily, and they had a lot of men left, which was great. And the Hammerers as well, getting a lot of kills where I threw them in. So yeah, definitely a good build. Don't know if I bring the same one against the Empire, because any good player is going to bring you know, 3 or 4 of those demigryphs with halberds. So it was kind of refreshing to not see that on a battlefield here. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. This is GGBear, and I'll be signing out for now. Peace.